Hello and welcome back to the channel. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's price. You may have noticed I haven't made a video for the last 5 or 6 days. We had bank holidays here in the Czech Republic and it was my birthday. So I took the time to walk away from the chart and frankly, I was a good 3-4 days. Price went up, good time with the family, no one was working. That was really, really enjoyable. But, you know, it's good to see Bitcoin going up in price, but it's also nerve-wracking when your Elliott wave count that you are tracking since early August is still running in parallel with another count. What I mean by that is if you look at the, well, let me actually start with the micro count and then we can move to the original count. The last video I made was October 25th and price were here, somewhere there. And I was tracking an ABC with the C leg unfolding as I made the video. And I was expecting the C leg to break this low here and finish somewhere there. Yeah, so that would have been wave 2 somewhere here. Actually, when we had this run up, I was already considering that something was off with my expectation. And then once we had these 2 weeks here, this one closing bullish and then this slow grind, I was like, something's off. It should not be behaving like that if we were in a C leg, yeah, of an ABC. And so I went back in time and I looked where could I have overcomplicated the counts. And I identified a point. I had initially added an extra lower degree impulsive wave to complete this last move as a wave 1 topping here. Well, that was not correct. And so whenever I misinterpret an Elliott wave count and I go back to it to identify where have I complicated things, if I find a result that is actually clear and not as complicated, that's usually a good sign. If you do update your count and you have something more complicated, that's not good. And so from the 10th, I think it was the 10th of October, this one here. Yes, the 10th of October, we had a 5-wave run up. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember this expanding triangle or running triangle wedge. And then an ending diagonal for wave 5. So the 4th and the 5th was actually quite short. It was an ending diagonal. And so that made things much clearer because the move that followed after, even though we made a new high twice, was actually part of the ABC correction I was looking for. You have your A, your B as an ABC inside, and then you have your C leg with the WXY as a B correction. And so that makes things a lot clearer because the following move here, I was looking at a 3-wave move up for a B correction of the ABC, but it turned out that this was part of a leading diagonal for wave 1. And that leading diagonal preceded an ABC correction for wave 2. Now, if you look, what followed since October 26 is a 1, 2, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th. So it appears that with the recent run high that we did at 73,639, we have a 3rd encircle completed, and now we're looking for a wave 4 to unfold. Now, wave 4 guideline says 23.6 all the way down to 50% retracement of the 3rd leg. Cannot go beneath 50%. There is no indication whether the wave 4 is going to be an ABC, a WXY, a triangle for the moment. We will just let it unfold and avoid trying to guesstimate what we have. Because here you could see A, B, C as W, A, B, C as X, and then you would expect another ABC down for the W, where in fact it can be something completely different. Generally, corrections, you need to give them time to complete, see the first sign of a impulse up or impulse down, depending, to be able to confirm that the correction has finished and it was an ABC, WXY, a double 3 or a triangle. At the moment, I will leave it like that. Break of market structure to the downside is going to be 70,841. This is the most recent low between these two swing highs, yeah, from October 29th and October 29th at 3 in the morning in Europe, and October 29th at 8 p.m. in Europe. So look for 78.41 to break the market structure to really indicate that price is correcting or consolidating. Indication with what we have that wave 4 correction is over is a break of this swing high. This was a second attempt to break this high, so 72,985. Breaking the most recent high at 73,639 will add confidence to the idea that wave 4 has finished, and we are looking for wave 5 to complete around 78,847, 78,500, let's call it like that, minimum target, yeah, because that would be a 5 of 3. Generally, you see the third wave that arrive at the 1618 at 83,000. That's actually a number I've given for quite a few videos already. But I'll be conservative, and I will highlight only 78,500. Yeah, will already be over all-time high. So that's for the micro counts. All things are good under the sun. Let's look at the two scenarios that I'm running in parallel since early August. There is the diagonal one. I'm gonna highlight it. I'm gonna quickly go over it. Previous video I said, or was it 2 videos ago, I said that the diagonal scenario, I'm changing probabilities to a lower degree because I don't think this is what is unfolding, but recent price action has actually indicated that it might actually be what is unfolding, except that is much more extended, much more extended in time and in amplitude than the previous move up. What I mean by that is for the wave 1 of this diagonal, we had an ABC, yeah, and then for wave 2, you had also an ABC. Now for wave 3, we have what looks like an ABC, but a much larger one. Let me highlight it for you. You have your A, your B, and then your C. And now we are making the C of 3. Actually, the 5 of C of 3, to be more precise. You can, actually I did it. I was curious to identify probably where the C leg would top in this diagonal scenario, and you can count on the C leg to be equal to the A leg, which is 74,618. So that could be an area where we top for the C leg of 3, and then we would look for price to go down for wave 4. Now, these past few days, we had an increase in bullish sentiment in the market. I think if the diagonal scenario is playing out, a lot of people are going to get emotionally beaten because we've been waiting 7 months and a half of consolidation and overlapping price action and nerve-wracking activity to finally enjoy 2-3 days of strong bullish momentum above and breaking 2 previous highs. I think it was 2 or 3. There's 1, there's 2, and yeah, the third one we touched, we broke it, but the fourth one no. So three swing highs over 7 months and a half were broken in a span of 3-4 days. A lot of people got excited, but if it's a diagonal scenario that is unfolding, then once the C tops, which will be the third wave top, we will look for wave 4 to form. And in diagonal, you know very well that diagonal are usually, doesn't have to be systematically, but more often than not, the diagonal for wave 4 actually retraces within the price territory of wave 1. Yeah. And so if that's the case, then it most likely will not be a surprise to see wave 4 go back into this price zone starting at 65,000. Yeah. That will be a serious blow to some traders' bullishness, especially retail traders. Emotional state is going to take a big hit because if you look at the technicals, this descending trend line that was capping the price for 7 months and a half was broken 2 days ago, 3 days ago, with some nice chunk of volume. I mean, there is no need to argue about that. Volume was quite thick and lasted more than 5 or 6 candles. So it was really, really nice to see. But if price were to go back down here and spend a lot of time there to make actually a wave 4 correction, I think a lot of people are just simply gonna give up. Especially this descending trend line. I mean, 7 months and a half capping the price, it has to be tested. Yeah, that's for sure. We should expect price to retest this level. Doesn't have to happen now. It can happen later. It can make a new high and then come back and test it. But you would want to assume that this level is going to hold if it's being tested. Yeah, 7 months and a half consolidation. If we get through it, it's not good. That's not a good sign. So that was for the diagonal scenario. So probably the third leg of the diagonal scenario is about to finish, and we should look for downside in as an ABC. Can be as quick as this one, actually. It was rather quick. Yeah, so that's for the diagonal scenario, and then a 5 up for one, and then a steeper pullback for wave 2 of a much higher degree, but we're not there yet. The other count that has makes a lot of sense, not because it's straight bullish, but it's it follows a natural evolution of the price action. We have a series of 1, 2, 1, 2, a nested 1, 2. And then there is another 1, 2 that was made and confirmed by the recent move up on the way to... So if I take this 1, 2 here, the third in circle has 83,140. Yeah, 83,000, let's call it like that. I think it's a target I gave a few videos ago. Because what we see of this third 1, 2 is that there is a new one. We start a new impulse wave. Up until now, everything is fine. 1, 2, 3 assumes that the third has stopped here. And now we look for wave 4 to complete. This is identical to the micro counts I was talking about in the previous video. Invalidation of this most recent 1, 2 is 65,253. You break that down, then you cancel this 1, 2 motive impulsive wave. That will mean that the count has to be revised for this portion here, and probably this 1, 2, because it cannot be an ABC. You would then have A, B, C up. That just doesn't sound right. So we might have some bigger problem at hand. So really critical level to watch for 65,253. Yeah. Target I gave 83,000 on the upside. I think that's it. I 1, 2, 1, 2, and within the third, yeah, that's what I had in mind. The third, if you take the most recent 1, 2, we have a target at 83,140 for the third in circle. But if you take actually the previous 1, 2, you have 86. Yeah, for this third wave, the 1618 would lead you to 86,263. Yeah, I think these numbers are high enough compared to where we are at the moment, and we're actually talking about an Elliott wave of 1 degree higher, when we still have not finished the previous Elliott wave count. So let's not focus on that too much. The picture is good, and the picture looks bullish on both counts in the short term. I would consider, not because I'm biased, but judging by how price has moved and the level it has been correcting since mid-March, I would tend to think that this 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 scenario is actually the most likely one that is unfolding. And given the time price has spent being overlapping and coiling, not so much overlapping in this particular scenario, but coiling within a tight range, I would not be shocked if we see a strong run-up. You had, for those of you that are following the futures, if you look at the liquidations we had, I'm gonna actually open it right away. The liquidations, we had 2 liquidations significantly. Where is it? One after the other. I think that's this one. And last time I was tricked. Yeah, you should be able to see the cursor moving. We had 2 strong like bear short liquidation. There was one on October 29th at 3 in the morning and the other one at 4 in the afternoon. These liquidations, aggregated liquidation, so this is this is valid for Binance, Bybit, OKX, Deribit, all the perpetual contracts. So it's quite a significant number. The first one was 23 million. The second one was 27 million in the span of 1 hour each. So about 50 million liquidated, at least on those exchanges. There are certainly more out there. But we went only to close to 74K. What is it going to look like when price breaks the all-time high? Because even though we went a few $100 away from the all-time high, I put back the technicals and I remove this. The all-time high is at 73,777 on this Binance charts. We were very close. This is no rejection. Like, price hasn't been rejected by aggressive short sellers. Like, it's just consolidating, correcting, call it the way you want, but this is not a rejection. This is not a strong candle with a ton of volume. Actually, look at the volume on the spot market. Since the top, it's dark gray. I mean, dark gray on my chart means, yeah, there is activity, but there is nothing to, you know, run home and tell mom about it. Yeah, it's just normal business as usual. And so that could be a sign that, yeah, short sellers are much higher. Yeah. And so should price break this all-time high, I want to say when, but I have to say should, because there is no guarantee. You might actually see a strong rally up, short squeeze like we haven't seen in a very long time, because there is probably a lot of people who are actually positioned above that and are betting on the price to go down. So the picture looks bright, and I'm gonna end this video on this nice note because it's a long video and I don't have anything else to add. So I'm gonna give you your time back. Thank you for watching and listening till the end. Leave me a comment, put a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for the most recent, I think it was 5 subscribers over these past 4 days. Really, really much appreciated. I'll be back with another update very soon. You take care of yourself. Bye-bye.